नमो लोये सर्वत्रिकावर्ति हरियन्ताणम् ॐ नमो लोये सर्वत्रिकावर्ति सिद्धाणम् ॐ नमो लोये सर्वत्रिकावर्ति आयर्याणम् ॐ नमो लोये सर्वत्रिकावर्ति उवज्जायाणम् ॐ नमो लोये सर्वत्रिकावर्ति सावणम् ओंकारं बिंदु संयुक्तं नित्यं ध्यायन्ति योगिनं कामदं मोक्षदं चैव ओंकाराय नमो नमः नमः समय साराय स्वानुभूत्या चकासते चित्स्वभावाय भावाय सर्वभावान्तरच्छिदे अज्ञानतिमिरन्धानां ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः अनंत अनंत भाव भेदथी भरेली भली अनंत अनंत नय निक्षेपे व्याख्यानी छे सकल जगत हितकारिणी हरिणी मोहतारिणी भवाब्धि मोक्षचारिणी प्रमाणी छे उपमा आप्यानी जेने तमारा कविते व्यर्थ आपवाथी निज मतिमा पाई में मानी छे अहो राज चंद्र बाळ ख्याल नथी पामताए जिनेश्वर तणी वाणी जाणी तेणे जाणी छे गुरु राज तणी वाणी जाणी तेणे जाणी छे ओम नमः सिद्धेभ्यो ओम नमः सिद्धेभ्यो ओम श्री सुदात्माने नमः जय जिनेन्द्र today is June 8th 2020 Monday and we are going to continue our discussion on Atmasiddhi Shastra. Last week we have started stanza number 3. Stanza number 3 is a very important, well, every stanzas are important. There is nothing like one is more important than the other. So this is also very important stanza. And we will sing that stanza first and then we'll start. So let me bring the slides. So we are going to play this slide. So it just says what it means. The meaning of the stanza, let me slideshow. So meaning of the stanza, it says, some people indulge in lifeless rituals, while some resort to bare knowledge. Both of them believe their line to be the path of liberation. I feel sorrow to notice it. So Srimadji over here says that some people are in blind ritualistic path, and some people are only dry knowledge path. And so Srimadji over here says that I have compassion. I feel sorry for them. I have compassion for them, that hopefully they should come back to normal. They should come back to the right path and everything. So he's going to explain to us over here, what does it mean? What is the meaning of the blind ritualistic person? And what's the meaning of the dry knowledge only person? So here we are going to talk about those things. So let's talk about it. 1 second. What happened here? Okay. Okay, we had gone through these slides before, so we can just talk something more about it from where we were left out right now. So from here. So there is a fallacy in the person who is doing the physical activity of the body. He is thinking that he is on the right path. There's a fallacy on the guy who has simply knowing. He has gathered the information. He has not used it properly. Gathering information means On your MP3 recorder also, there is information. And if you keep on playing that information again and again and again and again, doesn't mean that that MP3 player will get a liberation. Similarly, one who is on the dry knowledge part, he has just simply gathered the information. If you put your hand into the live socket of the electrical outlet, you can get a shock. That's the information. You put the hand, you put your finger into the live socket of the electricity, and it will give you a shock. You have that information. Now, are you going to apply this information or simply have this information in your mind and that's it? So that information is supposed to be applied. Knowing that one, and still I keep on putting my finger into the live socket, sure, I'm going to get the problem. So knowledge means now application of the knowledge. That is called real knowledge. Simply have, I think I gave this example as that few of our friends, they said, okay, in Phoenix, they said, we would like to learn how to swim. So they went to the library and they went through all the books and everything, how to swim and how to breathe underwater and this and that. So they become expert in that knowledge. Now that when they're thrown into the water, they started drinking water. They cannot, that knowledge that they gather cannot come into the play right now because the application is not there. So the dry, simply dry knowledge, information alone means nothing. So those are the people erroneously both believe that they are on the path to liberation, moksha marg, but they are in fact not on the path to liberation. Path to liberation starts with experiencing of the soul substance, and path to liberation ends when you have complete omniscience knowledge on 13th spiritual development stage. So if the journey starts on 4th spiritual development state and ends at the 13th spiritual development state, and that is called moksha marg. That's called path to liberation. So I don't have experiencing of the soul. I know everything about soul. What is a soul about? What's a soul's structure? What's a soul's function? What's a modes doing? How the modes are gathering the knowledge? I know all those things, but I did not experience that soul substance. Then all that knowledge has no value, which I have done it infinite times in the past. Gathering knowledge, but I have not applied. That's why, that's the reason I'm here in this transmigration, going from one life to another life to third life to fourth life again and again and again. Ignorant one does not recognize his wrong belief. He is in a wrong belief either by the blind ritualistic activities or by dry knowledge. He does not recognize his state, that he's in the wrong state. Now, blind ritualistic, now Srimad Ji says, okay, I'm going to explain to you who is a blind ritualistic. So he starts telling us that blind ritualistic means Kriya Jad. The word used here is Kriya Jad. Kriya Jad means he's satisfied with physical rituals without knowing importance of those rituals, without knowing background for those rituals, without knowing why I'm performing these rituals. This is a ship mentality, herd mentality. One ship, the horde of ships are going on, and one ship is falling down in the ditch. And so they one at a time, one by one, everybody falls down, but nobody thinks that they are doing wrong thing. So here, Kriya means physical ritual. Kriya Jad, we are going to dissect this word, Kriya Jad. Kriya means physical ritual, means one performs the activity mechanically. Namo Karmantra, Namo Rintam, Namo Siddham, Namo Anand, Namo. So you keep on one keep on reciting that way, not knowing what is Namo Arihantanam means. In the Mokshmat Prakasha, first chapter, and the Pandit Toramalji about 250 years back, he has given the nature of the Arihant, nature of the omniscient Lord. And there are about 23 points that he has given. Now, do I understand that way, or do I just blindly say, Namo Rentan, Namo Siddhan, Namo An, Namo Jam, Namo Le, Savusam? That's it, that's it. No, when you do that, when you speak a single word, you just stop there. Just say, I don't understand this word. Give me the meaning. Give me the meaning. Be inquisitive. Be pushy guy. Just say, I don't understand. I need to understand these things. Because if you don't understand, don't take next step. And if you do that way, then you have your solid foundation of spirituality, which will never be shaken up again. He feels satisfied with external activity. Okay, I did Samaik. Some people say, I have my rule of doing Samaik every day. They do it, but they don't know what that means. He believes to be in the path of liberation. But by doing those mechanical activities, people go for doing Samvatsari Pratikaman. 90 plus people have no idea what it is. I will just say 95, 99. They have no idea but it is to be done once a year. I have to do it, I have to do it, I have to do it no matter where I am, I have to do it, period. But you understand the meaning, why I'm doing that one. If you understand, there's a deep meaning to all those things. So that's a blind ritualistic being physical rituals. And Jad means ignorance. Jad actually means non-living. Jad, the meaning of the word Jad means non-living. But here it is to use in the terms of ignorance. Remember one thing, words are limited and meanings could be unlimited. So if the same word Jad is used for matter object, then it's in the form of non-living element. Jad over here means he has not made any attempt to understand why he's doing these rituals. That's why you are as good as non-living, because it's an ignorance. So Jad means actually non-living things in reality, but over here it means ignorant soul. So ignorant soul performing activity mechanically, that's called Kriya Jad or blind ritualist. What are its characteristics? What are characteristics of such souls? Well, most of the people believe that activity of the mind, speech, and body are helpful. Well, my mind is clear. I'm speaking good words, and I'm also doing bodily activity like doing upvas and all kind of thing. So they're all helping to me. Over here, word is very important. What word we are using, that's a thing that we have to keep in mind. Over here it says, he believes that activity of the mind, speech, and body are helpful. Keep that word in your mind, because we are going to hit that word so many slides, next slide onwards. They believe it to be path to liberation. It's a moksha marg. That's a belief. They fail to understand, again, it's a belief. Soul is only capable of knowing bodily actions are activity of the matter substance. They forget to say that soul has a capacity of knowing only. Soul cannot do any other work except knowing. And bodily actions are matter substance activity. They are entirely two different things. Soul is separate, doing its own job, body is doing its own job. They can't interfere with each other's work. Without knowing the fact, for the time infinite, he keeps on doing activity of the matter or substances, means physical body, and erroneously believes, again believes, sorry, erroneously he believes that he is on the right path. So the belief is a wrong over here. It's not the physical activity he is doing, but on top of doing that physical activity, he feels that he is on the right path. And that belief is a wrong thing. And Srimadji is hitting that point over here. That your belief needs to be changed. Let's go further and try to see how he's trying to tell us. Since time infinite, one is doing austerity, vows, etc., bodily activity. He's doing austerity. He has a compassionate feeling towards the other living being. He's observing spiritual vows and everything. He goes to temple regularly. He's worshiping. He's studying scripture, and all the day, 24/7, he remains in a kind of a religious religious minded activity. And this he's doing for since time infinite. Here, so they are auspicious activity. They are all called auspicious inclination, shubha bhav. So it's called auspicious inclination by doing bodily activity, austerity, vows, charity, compassion, worshipping, all these physical bodily activities. They are auspicious inclination. It's good to have it. If you don't do the compassion, then are you going to be cruel? If you don't do charity, are you going to be miser? If you don't do worshipping, are you going to be in the nihilistic person? Those things are good to do it. And they are auspicious inclination. But what happens next? That auspicious inclination is not the activity of the soul. That's the one we have to understand. Because I don't want to do bad thing. I don't want to be in the anger, deceit, ego, greed. So I can do auspicious inclination, auspicious acts. But they are not the activity of the soul. They are the activity of not the soul. Well, is soul not performing auspicious inclination? Is soul not performing inauspicious inclination? Is soul not going in the anger, deceit, ego, greed state? Yes, 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 it does. But they are not the real nature of the soul. For example, I have a sugar in my house and it gives sour taste. I have a sugar in my house, it gives you it gives sour taste. And you are going to laugh that, come on, Gosalia, wake up. Are you nuts? Sugar means sweetness. Where did you get the sour sugar? Sugar cannot be in the sour taste. Lemon cannot be in the sweet taste. Salt cannot be in the sweet taste. Salt will be salty, sugar will be sweet, and lemon will be sour. They know their own work, what to do. Similarly, what does soul do? Soul is also a substance. So it does knowing action. Knowing. That's all soul is doing. Now, look, since morning till now, what did you do except for your soul doing action of knowing? Nothing else has happened. As the next slide comes and everything, it will become more clearer what we mean. That auspicious inclination is not the activity of the soul. Um, I can give you a cube and I want to have the uh, total volume of the cube. What will you do? Complete solid volume. What is a volume? Then you will just say, okay, sir, it's a cube. So we'll take a x-axis times y-axis times z-axis and multiply 3, and that will be giving you total area, or I mean total volume of the cube, solid volume. Similarly, consider the soul as a cube. Soul has 3 dimensions, and one dimension is a length, which will be infinite times since past. Time unit. I'm existing since time infinite. I will remain for time infinite in the future. So infinite times in one axis. Length and breadth of the second axis is y-axis, breadth. That means soul has a innumerable space point. For example, this is a phone, has certain shape. This is the glass of water, has a certain shape. This is a piece of paper, has a certain shape. So similarly, soul also has innumerable space point as its total area that it covers. So that's a y-axis. On a z-axis, we take infinite attributes present in the soul. Infinite time, innumerable space point, and infinite attribute, 3 axes, x, y, z axis. So now when multiplied, that means it's a solid soul substance. There is no room for entry of any altered state in this soul. There is no room for any diluting state in this soul, because it's solid things with this infinite attributes, innumerable space point, and time infinite. But then I end up doing all these things. Auspicious activity, auspicious inclination, inauspicious inclination. What are all those things? They are altered state of the soul. That's not the true state of the soul. And so that is not the activity of the soul. Soul's activity is limited to the things that we describe as a cube. So what happens here? Auspicious inclination is inclination of attachment. State means rag, means inclination of attachment. Auspicious inclination is called rag, which is a transient state, which is the altered state. It's not the purity of the soul. You have a gold coin, Canadian maple leaf pure gold coin. Still, they don't call it gold. They just they don't call it pure. They say 99.9% pure. Means there is some impurity still. But let's consider that that gold is a pure gold. Now you want to make the ornaments out of that gold coin that you have it. So you give it to the jeweler, goldsmith, and he adds silver to make it more malleable. So in the gold, you have that silver added, so that's an impurity. It's not the gold's nature. It's a silver has silver nature, gold has a gold nature, but gold and silver are mixed together, so it becomes impure substance. So here, inclination of attachment or auspicious inclination is not my true state, but they do occur within me as an altered state, and that is not right state. For example, I have one abscess on my hand. What does that show? That abscess actually is occurring to me, not to you, not to you, not to her, not to him. It's occurring in this body. We are giving example right now. So that I have the ownership of that abscess. But that abscess shows that there is a altered behavior occurred in the body. The healthy state of the body is now become disease state, and that's why this abscess occurred. So first thing, you take that abscess out somehow. You take an antibiotic, you go to the doctor and just say, cut it out and take it out, take it out. I don't care, I don't care. It has to be removed. Even though it is occurring to me, but it's an altered state. It just shows my altered health and everything. So it needs to be taken out. Similarly, Rag and Dvesh and Shubha, auspicious inclination, inclination of attachment, they are the disease state of my body. They denote that my body is not healthy right now. Similarly, when auspicious inclination occurring or inclination of attachment occurring, that means it shows that a soul is not in the pure state, soul is in the impure state, altered state, deluding state. This has to be clear in our mind that I am the owner of these inclinations of attachment and auspicious inclination, but they are not my true state. Just like that abscess is not my true state, this is not my true state, and ultimately they need to be removed. How to remove? That's why Srimad Ji has given 142 stanza to us. Just now he is making diagnosis of our problem, our transmigration occurring since time infinite. He is giving diagnosis. Why am I in this miserable state of our life and death? This life and death cycle? Because I have an altered state, I have a impure state, I have a deluding state. So he's making diagnosis for us right now. He's a great clinician. He's making diagnosis of our problem. First a diagnosis is made, then he's going to give us treatment and everything. Auspicious inclination shows milder form of toxic emotions, kashai. Now, remember, I'm doing charity, I have compassionate thought, I am doing worshipping, I'm doing scriptural reading, I'm helping other people, people who are in trouble, I do come out and help them out. I do fasting, etc., physical bodily activity, etc., etc. They all are auspicious inclination. Auspicious inclination is called milder form of toxic emotions. I have emotions in my psyche, in my soul. I have emotions, and those emotions could be they are called toxic emotions. Means they are not right emotions, and at that time, right now, they are milder emotions. That's called auspicious inclination. When my severe form of toxic emotions are there, at that time I am in inauspicious inclination. I need to show him the pathway. I need to teach him the lesson. I need to remove that guy out. And all those garbage thoughts coming to me, they are called stronger form of toxic emotions. When I have a milder form of emotions, that means they are auspicious inclination. So inauspicious inclination is a severe form of emotions, and milder form of emotion is a auspicious inclination. But they are toxic emotions. They are not my true state. That has to be understood. Right now we are on the path of diagnosis only, so I have to find it out that these guys are not right for me. You mean going to temple every Sunday, going for a Swadhay, religiously attending those Swadhyay, doing the charity work, donation work, all those things, they are not good? Well, they are auspicious inclination. That has to be born in the mind. Nobody has said don't do those activity. It just says that they are called toxic emotions, milder form, milder form. If I do this milder form of toxic emotions and I die now, I may go to heaven. I may do inauspicious inclinations, severe form of toxic emotions, and I die, I may go to hell. But the transmigration will continue. If I go to heaven, I will remain there for X amount of time, and ultimately, when time is up, then I have to go to another realm of existence, another gati. So these are the problems that I have it, that I have to understood myself. Soul is free from influence of attachment state. It does not have any toxic emotions within. Soul does not have those things. The pure gold does not have any impurity. It's just that you purposefully added silver. That's why it became impure. There in the gold you added, here, since time infinite, I'm in that state of impure state. It has never started, it's there all the time. Impure state, impure state, impure state. Inclination of attachment state, auspicious inclination, toxic emotions, all those things are not my true nature. That I have to bear in my mind, understood that part. Now we go further, and I know quite a few questions coming in your mind. You can interrupt me any second also. Don't worry, don't wait for the last second. But you can just, if you don't understand, just raise your just interrupt me and just say you didn't understand certain part. Right now,
Your uncle, this is
yeah,
Seema. Can I
yes,
ask you a quick question on this slide?
please.
Just I want to clarify that when you are talking about the milder toxic emotions,
Mhm.
auspicious inclinations, are we talking about shubh bhav?
That's
And
true.
then is the severe toxic emotions ashubh bhav?
That's true. Shubh and Ashubh. Shubh is on a one extreme called milder toxic emotions, and Ashubh is called severe form of toxic emotions on the other end.
Okay, that's I
And
just want to clarify.
yeah, and then you may have learned those lesha. Did you have that lesha chapter in your classes?
Yes.
Okay, what are those lesha? Lesha means there is one full one entity is given to you on milder form of lesha. It's called white lesha. On the intense form on the other end, it's called black lesha, means intense inauspicious inclination, intense ashubha. And on this part end, it's called milder shubha, white lesha, and that's a black lesha, and in between the four other colors are there. So how is my intensity of my inclination, whether it's an inauspicious or auspicious? I'm a very quiet person. I'm not bothering anybody right now. I remain in my house. Sure, because I don't have power. Everybody's pulled power away from me. When I was working, I had a power, work is gone. When I'm coming home, now my kids are grown up, so I had a power on my kids, they are gone. Spouse, I thought that I had a power, but I was under wrong impression all the time. Anyway, so because I have nothing to express my power, that's why I became quote unquote by force. I made quote unquote a quiet guy. Older guy is a quiet guy. No, he's not quiet because he has quote unquote experience and make him a trustee in this Jain temple or God knows whatever organization. Again his power will shine up and then he will start screaming and all kind of things. So toxic emotions, milder or severe, that means they are bad anyway.
Okay.
One has to have idea that they are not my true state. Of course, instead of doing inauspicious inclination, you will do auspicious inclination, because I want to stay away from the inauspicious. But that auspicious inclination, I'm doing lots of fasting. In Parisian, I do 8 days of fasting, and I do lots of Swadhay. I do lots of charity work. I do lots of compassionate work. Right now, with this COVID-19 going on, I go and feed the people. I give them mask. I make the mask. All those activity with the auspiciousness as your base, but still it's not your soul's real nature.
Okay. Thank you.
See, the sugar, simple sugar knows. Simple sugar acts by giving sweetness, no matter where you put in the poison, still it will give sweetness. In the kid, you want to give the medicine is bitter, you put sugar, and then kid will take it. So sugar will give sweetness no matter where it is, what condition it is in. And me as a soul, auspicious and inauspiciousness is not my true nature. Anger, deceit, ego, greed are not my true nature, and I indulge in that all the time. I'm a 5 sense sentient human being, the highest on this transmigratory cycle. I'm the highest highest position. And I do all those garbage things. I know when I'm saying garbage thing, I am speaking that means auspiciousness is also not my true nature. Does not mean that you should stop doing that.
Mm.
I'm not saying that don't do it. This belief that they are helpful to me, I'm doing something right for my soul, that kind of belief, wrong belief, wrong belief, that belief needs to be attacked. Listen, suppose a patient has a bypass or suppose some kind of surgery done in the hospital, and he's coming back home after kind of so-called recovery and everything. He's still weak and everything. So first day, the next day morning, everybody's eager. Did you sleep well? No, whole night I had a pain and I can't do this. I was tossing and turning and this. Oh my God, everybody's showing sympathy to him. Next day, did you sleep? Maybe I made 10, 15, 20 minutes sleep. Did you sleep? I had a half an hour sleep. Did you sleep? 2, 3, 4 hours sleep. I 8, 10, 15 days. Now, every day the guy wakes up and says in the morning, hey, I had 8 hours sleep. Okay. Next day, 8 hours sleep. Wait a second. You're a healthy person. You had 8 hours sleep. What a big deal. Why you are announcing just as if you did achieve something unusual thing? If you keeps on telling that one all the time, every day in the morning, hey, I had 8 hours sleep. I had 8 hours sleep. The spouse will take you to the mental hospital because something is wrong with you. If you are a human being, if you're a working person, you sleep 8 hours a day. What a big deal. So similarly here, if you're a human being, and if you don't want to do inauspicious thing, so you can do auspicious activity. What a big deal. What a big deal to give charity. You have something, that's why you give charity. You have compassionate feeling. So what a big deal. If you don't have it, then who will have it? You did fasting or 8 days of ekasam or whatever. So what a big deal. You can do it. Why you are taking credit for those things? That's what the problem is. Hey, you know what? When I go to Jain Center, my name is on the top. It says such and such person gives so much money. So these are the things. Do I want to give donation or do I want to have my name announced properly? Instead of Kirit by, if they say Kirti Gosalia, and I'll start screaming, hey, you don't know how to pronounce my name also. Properly speak my name. That reminds me one of the things that I end up with some unusual situation at one pratishtha, one temple inauguration pratishtha, and the temple people have given all the instruction to the India people, to the carving, murti carver and everything, and they send the names and everything to carve who is donating this idol or anything like that. Somehow, somewhere along the line, because there's so many things are happening, so somewhere along the line, some name got mixed up, and instead of this person's name, somebody else's name was written on the murti. Now, these murtis came from India a week before or day before, or God knows whatever time before the pratishtha, and everybody's in a festivity mood and all the thing, and they are doing pratishtha, and on the last second, the owner found, the last second, it was found out that they have misspelled the name and they wrote somebody else's name on it. That such and such person donated, instead of that somebody else's name was there. Now there is no way you can stop the whole function. Everything is going on. The person who has donated the murti, he came to know, and he was furious. He was screaming at the top of his voice. First, not that his name was not, first thing, that his name was not there. Second thing, the name which was carved, he said he's my quote unquote enemy number one. Now you can imagine. Imagine the guy's furiousness. Now, today when I go to the temple, do I look at the bottom where those things are carved and I put microscope and look at the name, or just do I look at the Bhagwan's statue and just get the quietness oozing from the Bhagwan's face and trying to imbibe that within me? What do I do right now? But because my name is not written, and that guy made a big fuss. So do I want to do those kind of things? Do I want to do charity that way, in which my name has to be there, or my name is misspelled, or somebody else's name, and I scream? Then that's not right. If you want to do donation, give the donation, get out. How many times, and you new generation people, my heads are off when you guys say there should not be any ghee boli in the temple. Most of the temple, they have adopted that one. The ghee boli thing is almost things of the past, but it is some of the places are still going on, just to show that I can overbeat somebody else. I can satisfy my ego. No, that's not right. That's why that's not the reason I'm doing donation. So these are the things called toxic emotions. Even though I'm doing auspicious inclination by donating, but my name means my ego is coming in the picture, and whatever good feeling I'm supposed to get in by auspicious inclination gets washed out with this ego. So these are very important things we have to learn. Altered state cannot do the function of the innate state. Altered state is altered state, innate state is innate state. Now, let me see. Okay. Auspicious inclination and inclination of attachment, Shubha and Rag, states produce bondage. This kind of auspicious inclination, it is producing bondage. I'm getting karma bondage. Yes, it's an auspicious karma bondage, but it's a karma bondage, right? And when there is bondage, then there is no liberation. If I'm getting the handcuff, means I'm not a free man right now, no matter whether there is golden handcuff or iron handcuff, but I'm bonded. So those two states, they produce bondage, and they are not the liberation state. These had to be understood properly in our mind. When we understand that one properly, then we are on the right path. But if we don't understand that properly, then we are in the same transmigratory cycle of misery, life and death, forever and ever and ever and ever again. Physical body is a matter substance. Soul is a conscious substance. Every substance has different self quaternary. This one will take a little bit time on talking about it. Different self quaternary substance, area, mode, and attribute. Let me just bring all the slides up. Physical body, matter, and soul, conscious element. They both have separate. They both have separate self quaternaries. Therefore, bodily action never be beneficial to the soul. What it's trying to say over here, that quaternary, quaternary of a substance, area, mode, and attribute. Four things are quaternary. I am a soul. I am a soul as a substance. This guy, substance. Then I have an innumerable space point. The soul has innumerable space point. So this soul, if it goes to ant's life or bacterial life, then space point will be contracted. If it goes to elephant's life, space point will be expanded. But space point are innumerable, they remain the same. So that's the second is an area. Third is a mode. I have a mode occurring all the time. Mode means changes occurring since morning till night. I did some activity. If I ask you to write down what activities did you do in this whole day today, total, and you start writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 200, 300, whatever activity you wrote down. But we as a soul, we have a modification occurring every samay, and that samay is defined. That blink of an eye, innumerable time units pass by, innumerable samay pass by, means million, billion, trillion, quadrillion. I don't know how to count beyond that. So those are called numerical number. Beyond that is called innumerable number, and that many things passes by in one blink of an eye. And at that one samay like that, there is one change occurred in the soul. But I don't perceive that. In blink of an eye, innumerable time minutes pass by, innumerable changes occur within me. I cannot grab that one. What's the problem? Because my expressed knowledge is blunted. I have blunted form of expressed knowledge. That's why I can just record 100, 200, 300, 400 activities that I perform in a day. But in fact, innumerable activities have done in the day, during the day, because those modes coming every samay. So that's called modes, and I have an infinite attribute within me. So substance, area, mode, and attribute, that is my total nature over here. I as a soul has four things, and within that four things, within the confinement of this boundary of this four thing, I can have my activities. I can't do anything beyond that. Similarly, looking at this pencil, they have infinite matter particle, and each matter particle has its own self quaternary. So each particle cannot function beyond its own boundary. Every universal substance, they have their own boundary of activity cut out. They can't do anything beyond that. So if I say that I can help somebody, Means I'm going out of my self quaternary. It's not possible. I hurt somebody. It's not possible. Help or hurting is not possible by me because my self quaternary substance, area, mode, and attribute have limited action. Beyond that boundary, I can't do anything. But then we always see Nimisha goes as a doctor. She goes and treats a patient. Patient becomes all right. And patient says, thank you, doctor, this and that and everything. You do all kind of work and people just they praise your work and everything. Remember, one has not done anything beyond his self quaternary. I am the patient. Nimisha is a physician. I, as a patient, is supposed to improve at this point right now. And she is simply an instrumental cause. And that's why it appeared she gave medicine and I got improved. Thank God, because of you, I am improved. No, I have my self quaternary to improve, her self quaternary to do the her own work, and both came together. That's all it is. If the mother is there, that's why the child is growing. If mother is not, the child will be orphan. Not necessarily. Child has his own self quaternary and he will excel in his own field or he will degenerate in his own field because of him. If parents are the reason for success of a child, then Bill Clinton, when he was in a mother's tummy, the father had died and mother was alcoholic or something like that. What could be the situation of the child? Well, in his own self quaternary, he became the president of the country. So, yes, we see that mother is required for child's future and everything, but that's what we associated things seen, and then we just accuse that situation to be. Is Seema is raising kids? Is it because of Seema the kids are growing? No. Seema has her own self-quaternary. She has auspicious inclination. Let me take care of my kids. That kind of auspicious inclination. And kid is supposed to receive that kind of help from, the kid has self-quaternary of receiving those blessings. That's it. Those two things are combined together. So physical body physical body is a matter and soul is a conscious element. They both have separate self quaternary. You mean am I as a soul is speaking right now? No. The speech particles are creating the speech, and I as a soul has only auspicious inclination to deliver the right thing. So my area of expertise, limitation remains within the soul's confinement, and physical body's activity remains within the physical body's confinement. They both appear to be together. That's why I am speaking. No, that's not true. This is what the microscopic microscopic area of the spirituality teaches us. Once you understand, then do whatever you want to do, but now your distinction in your mind that this is not good or this is good, whatever. So therefore, bodily action can never be beneficial to the soul. They are all separate things. Argument from the ignorant soul. Ignorant soul is arguing now. He says, external self, bahirdrashti jeev. He says that omniscient Lord has shown the rituals and spiritual person, and the spiritual person does not accept it. The external self means the one who is involved with the rituals. And he says, omniscient Lord has shown all these things, so we have to do it. Why you guys are not accepting it? Why you just say it's not right? Mahavir did fasting, so I have to do fasting. Mahavir did not do fasting. Mahavir was engrossed in his soul so much. Internally, he was so much into the self realization state and having blissful state that he did not realize that a body needs to given the body needs to be given food. So it was his self-realization state and supersensuous blissful state. I externally saw that Mahavir did not eat, so I should not eat, and that will be the message. That's not true message. External say these people say therefore they do not believe in liberation of the soul. Means when we spiritual people, means people who are like us understanding this situation, and we just say physical body's activity is not beneficial to the soul, they say that if you don't do activity of the body, then how can you get liberation? You will not get liberation. You don't want to do the spiritual activity, you don't want to do the physical acts, and these are the prescribed rules, regulations. You don't want to do it, then how the hell you are going to get liberation? So that's what their argument is. Just by uttering words soul, 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 soul throughout the day, is it going to take you to liberation? That's what ignorant soul, the one who is ritualistic person, he tells everybody else. You keep on talking soul, soul, soul. From the beginning of this class, we started talking soul and soul, soul and soul. Soul is this, soul is that. By reciting that way, would you get liberation? Forget it, you won't get it. That's what their argument is. They say you have to just, you have to make this body suffer. Hey, wait a second. I want to achieve something. Why will I make my body suffer? Body is a body. Body has its own self quaternary. I have my own self quaternary. I cannot affect body. Body cannot do any effect to me. So why you are saying those things? I want to be rich because I want to make my neighbor suffer. How can you do that? You want to become rich, you do your own way. Why do you want to make the neighbor suffer? Why do you want this neighbor suffer? So that's a argument from the guy who knows the guy who is aware of the knowledge section. So therefore, one must perform rituals. That's what ritualistic person are putting argument. On the other side of the coin, learned saint says soul is formless and has consciousness. Soul is all knower soul substance. With the help of knowledge, with help of knowledge more, soul ends up knowing, and soul can't do anything else besides knowing. This is what learned saints are telling us. So now I'm torn between those two systems. One keeps on insisting me to do the physical activity and all those auspicious inclination. Another one says you do the scriptural reading. What do I do it? Where is the truth? And I'm torn apart between these two systems. So without knowledge of the soul ended up to the neck dwelling celestial place, graveyard infinite times in the past. There is something called the higher, there are 16 heavens are there, and beyond 16 heaven, there's a neck dwelling celestial place, and that is wrong faith person can highest can go up to here in the wrong faith state. So I have gone there infinite times. Ability, inability to get the liberation, bhavyatva, abhavyatva, with intense physical blind rituals, ended up going to heaven life. This one, it says it will take a lot of time. If you don't mind, I'll take 5 more minutes, but I want to finish this slide. This is very important point coming, so please bear with me. Ability or inability to get liberation, bhavyatva or abhavyatva. This, this point is very important to understand. Bhavyatva means one soul who has ability to get liberated. A bhavya soul means he has inability to get liberated. They both can do the intense physical blind rituals and can end up with a heavenly life in the past, just like going to naked dwelling celestial places. What is ability to get liberation? What is inability to get liberation? If you take both the souls, this soul has an ability to get liberated, this soul has an inability to get liberated. You take both the soul, put it under microscope, and do all kind of activity, all kind of thing to find out structure and function of both the souls. They are exact same thing. Both the souls have exact same thing. They are soul substance, they are infinite attribute, and their modes. But the guy who has inability to get liberation in the future means he will never, 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 never ever get liberation. He will never, 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 never had samyak darshan. What happens to that soul? He simply believes rituals are only the things to be done. That's it. Or blind scriptural reading is only the thing to do. But application to go within to experience soul substance, they will never, ever, ever have that thought process coming in them. And that's why they will never get liberated. Ability to get liberation, he has a chance. He can realize his soul. He can have a samyak darshan. And then he can further progress and get liberation. So inability guy will never get liberated. Ability guy can have possibility to get liberation. Now question occurs. Out of infinite living being, very few have this inability to get liberation type of thing. It is inherent characteristics. Nobody instilled that one. They are like that. That's it. Nobody created them that way because the soul was never created, will never be destroyed. They are always there. So such type of souls, they have just simply inability to go further. Now question comes, could I or could you, could one of us be having the inability to liberation? Means abhavya jeev? Could we be one of the abhavya jeev maybe, will never get liberated? Rest assured you are not. Why? Because Padmanandi Acharya, he wrote down one stanza in a Padmanandi Panchvisanti scripture. He says, Tat priti priti chitta na yena varta pihi sutta nishchitam sa bhavet bhavyo bhavi nirvana bhajanam. Well, it's all Sanskrit. You have no idea what I spoke. Anyway, what it means, those souls, those pious souls who have listened to the story of this eternal true nature of the soul substance, they have listened with their own patience, with their own inquisitiveness. Those who listen to the story, they are supposed to get liberated in the future no matter what. So they are bhavya jeev. So that's what Acharya Bhagavan tells us. Here, last bullet. There they spend means when they go to this ninth naked dwelling celestial place, they can stay from many millions and billions of years and have physical comfort, and then they continue to have the transmigration again continuously. So without knowledge of the soul, so this is what it is. So we have to understand. I mean, the scripture says that it doesn't care. It says you first learn, understand the hierarchy, understand the scriptural basis, understand the nature of the soul, Take your own time, ask questions, raise doubts, keep asking, meditate upon, reflect upon, and you will be on the path towards getting Samyak Darshan. So that's what it says. Knowledge, you have to get it first, rather than jumping into blind rituals. So we'll stop over here, and I'm pretty sure there are some questions out there. I took 5 extra minutes. I'm sorry for that, but I just want to finish this important slide. So please ask questions if you have any. We can just go 2-3 minutes for that. Yes. Anybody? Okay. Go ahead, Nimisha. You have a question?
Oh, no, I didn't have any questions. I just want to say thank you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can just do the closing, and then जी स्वरूप समझाविना पाम्यो दुख अनंत समझाव्यो ते पद नमो श्री सदगुरु भगवन परम पुरुष प्रभु सदगुरु परम ज्ञान सुखदाम जेने आप्યું બાનની તેને સદા પ્રણામ દેહ છતાં જેની દશા વર્તે દેહાતી તે પ્રભુજીના ચરણમાં વંદન અગણિત જાવાણી કે જ્ઞાન से सूझे लोकालो सोवाणी मस्तक नमो सदा देते हूँ जय जिनेन्द्र everybody.
Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra. All right.
Jai Jananda, Kirit uncle, thank you.